Yo, let me make sure that I'm in. Let me make sure everything is good. Before we go ahead and get started, hold on really quick. Let's see. Um, okay. All right. Think we are good to go. Everything looks good. Let me make this bigger. Okay, so the title is not it's not clickbait. This isn't something that just happened to me. We definitely going to go ahead and dive into the employee quitting, walking out, dropping their stuff and bouncing. We're definitely going to dive into that. First and foremost, you know what I mean. I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that's in the inner circle. Inner circle is our Facebook group. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the link in here right now to everybody who is thinking about joining the Facebook group. I'm going to go ahead and attach that in the comments right now. So we got the Facebook group in. Shout out to everybody who has been rocking with me. I definitely appreciate you. You know, I haven't been as active on here as I wanted to be, but you know, I really just been grinding, and I'm trying to separate myself from that. I want to be able to allow myself to have more time to do, you know, stuff like this, be able to hop on live, you know what I mean, kick it with you guys, go back and forth, answer questions where I can, and just be able to share my information, share my knowledge, you know, where I can, the best way that I can. Let me see. I tried to connect to IG. Let me see if that's working. And yeah, that's working. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's what's been going on. I really been really just been grinding, man. And I said, like, I'm trying to separate myself from grinding as much as I have been. But this is something that I definitely do want to talk about, because I had a couple of conversations this weekend, and it was really revolving around employees. So I said, when I jump on today on live, I'm going to go ahead and share my experiences, share some of the things that I've learned, some of the things that I've been through as it comes down to employees, and employees really not being loyal. And I'm going to break it all down, right? Just rock with me. I am probably going to end up going down some side streets, but we're gonna get back on track. We're gonna stay on the main road. I'm gonna drive my point home. And if you have any questions, concerns, go ahead and feel free to shoot the message. We here live for a reason, so we can be able to dialogue back and forth. But once again, yeah, if you got any questions, go ahead, drop them in the chat. Go ahead and hit the like button for me one time. I very much do appreciate it. But one of the things that people think of, like, how come I can't keep employees? How come my employees keep leaving? You know, there's a couple of things that come to mind. Like, the number one thing that comes to mind is like, well, it's the lack of compensation. If I pay them more money, then, you know, I'm going to get a better quality staff, or, you know, they're going to stick around for a little bit longer. And that's not always the case. Like, it doesn't really matter how much you pay them. You could pay them $10 over whatever the asking rate is. If you have a bad employee with a bad work ethic, they're not going to stick around regardless. So don't think that, you know, by paying more money, that's just going to automatically mean that you're going to have a better quality worker. That's not the case at all. Insufficient training, insufficient support, that can be one of the reasons why employees really don't stick around. But that's not really the main reason why loyalty, when it comes to employees, in this industry and so many other industries, business across the board, that's not really one of the main the main factor, right? It's not really due to the support or insufficient training. Poor working conditions can contribute to it, but again, that's not the number one thing. We look at lack of career advancement or career opportunities. You know, in this space that we're in the commercial cleaning space, there's only so far that they can go, right? In my company, you're going to start off as a clean tech, all right, and then you can move up to an inspector, or you can move up to a field manager, and then or a salesperson, right? It's one of those ways, and then eventually you may be able to move up into become an operations manager. But we've only really had two operations managers since I've been running the business. It'll be 10 years next month. 10 years next month. We've been in business, successfully growing. It hasn't always been smooth, but these are some of the things that I noticed. So or just go ahead and rock with me. Once again, if you're just now coming in, if you get value out of what I'm going to say, go ahead and hit the like button for me one time. I very much do appreciate it. And they don't got the air on in here. They got to cut the air on. And then the other thing is just adequate recognition, letting your people know, I see you, I value you, I appreciate you. Some of those things, it doesn't always have to be in the form of a payment or in a bonus. We would give out business cards, and we would give out gift cards. We would give out concert tickets, movie tickets, letting them know that we appreciate it. And those things are appreciated when it comes to the staff, but just because you give things out doesn't mean that people are going to stay. So now that we have those things out of the way, let me go ahead and jump right into this. Right? I'm going to go ahead and dive into the story, let you know what's going on, or let you know what happened. And then we're just going to go from there. I'm not going to be on here too long. And this ain't one of those, I don't know if you've been to church or whatever, but sometimes when the pastor say, I ain't going to be here long, you end up being here for 4 hours. This ain't that. I'm not going to be here that long at all. So, I'm always the type of person where I've always thought outside the box. Always. I always try to find the quickest and the most efficient way to get something done. Now, the story that I'm about to talk about, this isn't a recent story. This story happened probably about 6 or 7 years ago. This is one of the precursors, or one of the building blocks that I built on to get our hiring situation to where it is now. And it's the same hiring situation that I teach inside of the executive course. If you're looking to grow your business, start your business, excel your business, go over to spotlessgrowth.com, go ahead and apply, go through the steps. And if you get in, and I'll see you on that side. But this was the building blocks that helped me get to where I am now. This is one of those things, one of those pivotal moments in my business that was like, you know what, something has to change. So keep in mind, I just said that I've always been the type of person where I've always thought outside the box, always. I live in, my business is in Washington State, right? I live in Washington State. Now, Washington State is one of the places where most people kind of forget about. Like most Americans outside of the U.S. or outside of Washington, they forget about Washington State. When I'm traveling or when I'm, going different places and people ask me where I'm from, I tell them I'm from Washington. They tell me like, oh, or they ask, hey, do you see the president or do you ever see like the White House? I'm like, nah, man, the other Washington, we on the other side. So we're not even really thought about like that. But here's the thing. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because it's important to know that one of the main attractions to Washington, or one of the reasons why I'm here, why we got here, we have one of the biggest military bases in all of the U.S. Now, this is one of those side streets, but it's important for me to go ahead and give you the context so that you know where we're going with this. So one of our military base is one of the biggest bases here. Now, this was, years ago, way before COVID, where I'm trying to figure stuff out. How am I going to get employees? How am I going to get people to come to my business? How do I get quality people? I think at the time I was probably making, I don't know, maybe like $150,000, $200,000 a year. I wasn't making a whole lot of money. And to the people who aren't making that, I don't want to say that I don't want that to come off as like disrespectful or unappreciative. I was happy for what I had at the time, but in the grand scheme of things, that's really not a lot of money, especially in this business. But I didn't have a whole lot of money. I had a crew, and I was trying to figure stuff out. I knew what I was doing to get to where I was at work, but I needed to get further. So I'm figuring things out. I'm thinking outside the box. So I decide, you know what? We have one of the biggest military bases in the country, and I'm 15 minutes away from it. Why don't I try to attract some of those soldiers who, when they get off of work, these are young guys, 21, 22, 23. A lot of the time they don't have family. They don't have nothing serious. Why don't I try to attract some of them to come in and work for me inside of my business? This is a part-time job. It's not a full-time thing. I don't expect them to quit the military to come do what I'm doing, but this is my line of thinking. I said, okay, what are the benefits? The benefits are I'm going to get somebody who at least show that they have some sort of discipline or structure because they're in the military. They have their own process that they put people through to make sure that, they're able to follow directions and follow orders or whatever the case is. I said, okay, I'm getting that person. Another bonus to me getting someone in the military is, they can't have done nothing too crazy because their background check is crazy, right? So I know that I'm not going to have to spend a whole lot of money by getting someone with a decent background. The military already does the checks on all of them. What if I need somebody to do strip and wax? The military, when they're in the barracks or wherever they are, they know how to do strip and wax, or they know someone who does. So this was my line of thinking when I was just figuring stuff out. At the time, I think I had like a crew of 3 or 4 people. And my mentor at the time, the way that he structured his business, I was trying to pattern myself after what he was doing, right? So we all worked as a unit. Like when I say all of us, really them, they worked as a unit. I would go by, check on them from time to time, make sure things are going right. And then I would go about my business and do other things that I needed to do, right? So I got to paint this picture for you. So I hire this guy. I bring him in, young kid, young Black kid, really ambitious. And he's really impressed that, you know, I was able to build this thing. Now, mind you, it wasn't a huge thing at the time. It was just something I decided, like, I don't want to work for no one else. I'm going to go ahead, start my business, bring people in, have them work. He was really, really impressed by what I was able to do. And he, you know, he told me he had some experience. He worked with some people before, but he wanted me to mentor him, you know, while he's on his journey in the military. And, you know, once he gets out, he wants to be able to reach back and be able to use the information that I'd had at that particular time. And guys, this was, you know, like I said, 5, 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. So I'm like, okay, cool, no worries. I have no problem with it. But what I need from you right now, though, I need for you to be able to come to work. I understand you're in the military. I understand that comes first. You know, you may get orders to go somewhere, all of the things that go with the military. I understand all of that. And, you know, just be open, communicate with me. Let me know what's going on. If you got to go somewhere, if you're not going to be able to make it in. You say, okay, cool, no problem. Day one, we're training. He doesn't really want to talk about he's not taking in the information that the trainers are giving him to learn. He wants to have side conversations with me. Real cool guy, but we're here for a job, right? We're here to do a specific job. Let's get this job done. And we remember, I said we move as a unit. Get this job done, then we'll move to the next building, then we're done for the night, right? We could talk about whatever you want to talk about after that. But right now, like I'm paying you to do this. So day one goes by, day two goes by. Day three is more of like the same of, you know, day one and day two. He's not really listening. He wants to keep talking to me. I'm separating myself because I don't want to really just let him go. I think that this is a good idea for me to bring in a military service worker and have them work in the business for all of the reasons that I just said, right? I'm thinking this is a really good idea. So this was probably like day 4 or day 5. I'm not there. I'm not there on shift. I'm out doing some other stuff. It's the crew that he's working with, and it's the operations manager. He comes in about 45 minutes late, doesn't say anything. And when she goes to, hey, you know, that's not acceptable. You're brand new. You know, you're still in training. We all move as a unit. So if you're not here, it's slowing everyone down. Basic stuff, right? This is all basic information. So he's like, okay. As soon as she walks away, he drops the backpack vacuum and leaves. I probably come 20 minutes later. No one notices that he dropped the vacuum and he just left, right? No one noticed. I'm like, hey, what's going on with it? Where's the dude? Oh boy, he's not answering the phone. He's not answering text messages. I'm like, okay. In the middle of what he was supposed to be doing, he quit. He bounced. He didn't say nothing, right? He just left. And that was the moment, that particular moment right there. That was the moment that I realized that no employees, they're not loyal. No employee is going to be loyal to your business. And there was other instances before with other employees where they come, they quit, they stay, they leave. But the whole point is employees are not loyal to your business, right? And here's what I'm going to say in the employee's defense. Are they supposed to be? Are the employees that we hire, the ones that we bring into our business, our babies, the things that we started from the beginning, and you know, we create this thing and we have them come in and we're paying them and we're showing them different things and different systems. They're in our business, right? We take our business personal, but they don't. Should they be loyal to our business? The answer is no, right? The answer is no, absolutely not. They don't have to be loyal. They don't owe us their loyalty. And the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I'm bringing this up is what I'm telling you right now, this is my particular story, but this isn't anything that most people haven't heard, right? This is why they always say in your business to make sure that you are always hiring, always be hiring, or at least always accepting applications. Our employees don't owe us any law. They don't owe us nothing. We have a contractual obligation between the two of us. I'm the employer. I go and I find a prospect and I turn them into an employee and we have an agreement. I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars for X amount of hours of work. And it's not nothing that's signed or written in stone. That can be terminated, and the employee can terminate it. We can terminate it, right? They don't owe us, they don't have any allegiance to our business. It's our business. The crazy thing about it is, and if you really think about it, we only as entrepreneurs, we only ever feel slighted when it's our turn. I know firsthand personally that I've quit jobs before. I've quit jobs. I didn't give notice. I didn't call. I got shirts still. Well, not still, but I quit and didn't give back equipment. Like I've been that type of employee before. It's only a problem when we feel it, when it's our turn to feel what, that side of things. Like, damn, they didn't even call. Now I got to figure this whole thing out. Now I gotta go through the whole process again. It's never really a problem until it's on us. And I can say firsthand that I've been there. And this is that moment with that soldier. That's when I really started to realize, like, wait a minute, they don't owe us nothing. I have to continuously keep hiring. No one is going to stick around. Like I just said, guys, I've been in this business it'll be 10 years next month. I've been in this business. No one who I started with, or no one who, my first employee, they're not here no more, right? It's just part of it. It's one of the things that it's just business. This is just what it is. When you really think about it and you break it all the way down, the only people that are really loyal to your business, and this isn't even 100% of the time, the only people that's really loyal to your business is the people that's on the articles of organization, right? The paperwork that you fill out when you submit your business. And that's not even true 100% of the time. I know people who started business with partners and now they're no longer in business. One partner wanted to do this, one partner wanted to do that. They decided they're going to go ahead and cut ties and go ahead and do their own thing, right? So this is some of the stuff that, that I had to think about. I had to consider as I'm starting to grow my business, as I'm flourishing in my business. And I know for a fact that there are people right now who are struggling. They are at the point where, okay, I have a few clients. I even have some workers. Maybe I don't got to go to work every single day, but for whatever reason, I can't seem to keep an employee. I can't keep one here. When I get one, I lose two. And then I'm back into the field, or I get a subcontractor and then they don't really turn out. And I got the customer calling me. There's somebody who's watching this live or going to watch this live. This is Monday. They got to check their emails. They got a complaint in the email box. Somebody didn't show up. Someone didn't do what they were supposed to do. It's just a part of it. This is a part of the game. This is how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like I said before, one thing that I really, really do love about business in itself is so many comparisons could be made between business and sports. You look at the greatest of whatever sport that you want to call. It don't even got to be sports. Look at music. Who's your best musician? Your favorite band? You're this, you're that. Everyone who you consider the great to be in whatever it is that you are into, if you consider them great and they're known, they were at their level of greatness, on their ascension to greatness, where you are in your business right now. So if you're performing at a D level, everyone was at a D level at some point. They had to keep going and going and going until they reached the point where, now they're known. And there's people who, and I know for a fact, because I talk to people, if you're inside the inner circle, for a fact, when I DM you, I don't always DM you with money on my mind. 99% of the time, I don't ask for nothing. Hey, how's it going? How are things going? What's going on with your business? What's going on with your family? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? It's not uncommon. If you're inside the inner circle, you already know that. Like, Marcus is going to check in every now and then just to see how things are going, right? There are people who are struggling in their business, and they don't really know which direction to go. They don't know which direction to go, whether they're going to go this way, whether they're going to go that way. Sometimes people feel like they're honestly alone. But this is just a part of This is a part of the hero story, right? This is just a part of it. Go back to sports. Whoever your greatest is, I don't care who, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, whoever it is, whoever your greatest is, you got to understand that being alone sometimes is a good thing. Michael Jordan didn't always have millions and millions of fans. At one point, it was just him in the gym by himself, or maybe his mom was in there clapping with him, or his dad, or somebody didn't really want to go to the practices, or, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, they had to figure it out and get from where they are to where they were to where they wanted to be. Everyone's not going to always have this success story. And here's what it looks like. What it looks like is this. When you're in the middle of going through, you know, all of your trials and your tribulations, and you're fighting through, and it feels like you're running in quicksand. It feels like you're not really going anywhere. What you're doing is you're basically you're building up your armor. You're building up that Teflon, because I promise, like, on the other side of that, it's going to look like, damn, how did I even get through that? I look at some of my old goals, right? And I look at my old goals, and sometimes it feels like I'm looking at my kids when they were little. Like, damn, look at how little that goal was back then. I met that goal a long time ago and forgot about it. Now I'm on to bigger and better things. And business is the same way. So if you're struggling with employees, and you're struggling because, you know, this one's not going to stay, or this one's leaving, I promise you, this is just a part of the process. You can't make it through the game. You can't make it through the event without getting some dirt on your jersey. That's just what it is. At some point or another, you're going to have problems, you're going to have trials, you're going to have tribulations. But the difference is the people who are willing to continue to push forward, and the people who decide, I'm going to stay small, or I'm going to quit, or I'm going to go another direction. Everything that when we learn in business, if you've been in business for 3, 4, 5 years, especially 5 years, you know, you've already beaten, so, you know, you're on the other side. You're on the other side of the percentages of people who fail. Okay. Starting a business, growing a business, it's simple, but it's not always easy, especially if you're doing it by yourself, right? So you think about it like this, like, it's already an uphill battle. Starting your business with no help, with no resources, with no tools, with no mentors, that's like going into battle and you don't got no sword, you don't got no shield, you don't even got no nunchucks. You know what I'm saying? You don't got no nunchucks or karate shoes. You know what I'm saying? At least if you got karate shoes, you could kick or defend yourself somehow, and it won't hurt your toe knuckles or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't have the tools that it takes to be able to get to where you are. So, or to get to where you want to be. So you got to do whatever you can to get the necessary, to get the people around you that's going to help guide you and push you in a direction where you need to be, where you want to go. I still have mentors. I promise you, I don't know everything. I don't know everything, and I'm glad I don't. I want to be around people who keep pulling me up, pulling me in the direction where I want to be, where I want to go in my business. And, you know, that is really just like one of the major things, that one of the major hurdles that keep people from getting outside of that zone, is just uncomfortable, right? Not really knowing which direction you go. So that's really the reason why, you know, guys like me, like, we get on and we do these lives, so we can, you know, engage back and forth with each other. You know, if you guys got questions, feel free, drop a comment. Eunice said, what's going on, Eunice? How you doing? I appreciate you. Everything is great with me. I have no complaints at all. But yeah, if you guys got comments, concerns, go ahead and leave me a message, or go ahead and put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here for you. You know what I mean? I don't really got nothing else going on today. I don't got any callers, anybody or anything, that any other appointments that I got to be at. So I'm here for you guys. But that's really just like the biggest thing, guys. Like, everyone inside of your business really is, I hate to say it, man, everybody is expendable. Even us, we're expendable to someone else in our business, right? To whether it's an employee, they can quit. I'll go get another job. They'll tell you quick, like, I'll get another job. Especially if you're a cleaner and you're a good cleaner, you know you're a good cleaner. What you do is really in demand. They go get another job. A client will go and find another cleaning company, right? They can do it, whether or not they're as good or, you know, better, whatever. They can go find someone else to do the job. We're all expendable one way or the other. You know what I mean? And just know, like, There really isn't no loyalty, guys. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna be honest, 100% honest. Um, 10 years almost. I think every year, every single year, I wanted to quit my own business. Straight up. I don't care how much money, it don't matter. Like when I was just starting off and I was with the franchise, I wanted to quit. When I made my first 100,000, after them endorphins and all that stuff wore off, like I don't want to quit. Two, three, 400,000. Like it never goes away because you're always like with new levels, there's new devils. I said that before. Like with every level you get to, there's going to be adversity. There's going to be things that you got to go through. But it's just like anything else. You if this is what you want to do, you're going to have to keep pushing, and you're going to have to reach out, find people who are experts in whatever it is that you're trying to do, learn from them, have them on your side, be able to, have them available, tap in with them, because a lot of the time in business, especially as entrepreneurs, a lot of the time our problems really don't even be money. Our problems don't be money if we really, really think about it. It may be spending problems, but a lot of the time it be, the stress, and the not feeling like you have somebody to talk to, not really having someone that's going to understand. I have in my real personal life, if we being for real, probably I'm going to say like 3 or 4 people who really understand what it means to start something from the beginning and grow it to a point where you don't where Wednesday can look like a weekend for you, or Monday can look like a weekend. It's not a whole lot of people, right? Now online is different. You join different community groups, and you're going to meet people. Your reach is going to be a whole lot further. But for the most part, it can definitely be a lonely journey, but it really don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be at all. But knowing that when I talk about employees, and this video was in no way to downplay employees. I'm not trying to push you away from employees or scare you away or scare you off from getting employees. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not trying to do that. I have employees in my business right now, but I just want you to understand the nature of employees, the nature of people, right? Like I said, I've done it before. I've quit jobs and didn't say nothing. Just know that employees are going to quit. But the thing is that you always have to be hiring. You always have to be accepting applications, because you never know when you're going to have to go ahead and fill a spot, and you don't know when it's going to be. The worst time it can happen is if you know that your crew starts at 6 p.m. and someone just doesn't show up, or they call you at like 5. Oh, I can't make it. You have to make sure that you and your company are insulated, and you put yourself in a position so that your business can really, really thrive. And you'll face the same thing even if you work with subcontractors. Just because someone has a business license and they're doing business in your area and they're willing to do business with you, don't mean that they're good at doing business. That's just a fact. That's just what it is. A lot of the time, most cleaning companies don't know how to attract clients. They just don't. I joined a group. I joined a Facebook group the other day. I'm trying out some new stuff. I joined a Facebook group, and everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's trying to get clients the same way, and it doesn't work. If you're inside of a group, and let's just say cleaners of, Tacoma, right? Cleaners of Tacoma, Washington, where I am. Everyone is doing this. Everyone is inside of the group. They're going to post a picture of their flyer. They're going to have some caption. Hey, my name is da-da-da. We service this area, and we have availability to take on new clients. If you scroll through that group, it's a million of those. No one's seeing those clients. People that are paying, they're not seeing those, right? So they don't know how to attract business. And if they don't know how to attract business, then they probably don't have a lot of experience in dealing with other business owners that are paying them. So when you bring them in, if there isn't some sort of expectations that are put up, like, hey, our agreement is between us. My agreement and my client is between me and my client. When you meet my client, or when your staff meet my client, you guys, first off, you guys need to be in uniform. Second off, you don't just barge in if they're in the office on a late call or Zoom call. You don't just barge in and start vacuuming or wiping stuff off. You show some courtesy, because although you're your company, you're there as a representative of mine, and I'm not trying to, have any type of unnecessary conversations with my client. So there are little things like that. And, there's so many companies out there who just don't know. They haven't experienced. They maybe, they enjoy cleaning, or they decided, like me, like, I don't want to work for anyone, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and start a cleaning business. But that's completely different than knowing how to run a business. It's completely different. Every baker doesn't need to have a bakery. That's just one of those things that it's not common knowledge, but it definitely should be. So take all of that into consideration. There really is no escaping it. There is, don't think if you pay them more money, if you do this, if you do that, if you we had a girl, that she had a granddaughter, and they didn't have a lot of money. And it wasn't like we were trying to buy them, but it's like, okay, we have this stuff that we're never going to use. You just had a granddaughter or a grandson, or I don't remember, whatever. They needed clothes, right? We knew that they needed clothes. We had a bunch of baby clothes, right? And I ain't having no more kids. So we donated them a bunch of stuff. Like, my son and my daughter had, all name brand stuff, whatever. We donated them a bunch of stuff. 2 weeks later, she quit and didn't even tell us that she was quitting. Very appreciative that she got the stuff. Maybe she felt guilty, but it was never like, hey, we're giving you this and now you owe us. It wasn't that at all. It's just like, we see someone who's in need. We're never going to use this stuff. Probably just going to end up giving it away to Goodwill. Why not give it to someone that we know that can use it right away? But things like that, that's not gonna, you can't buy loyalty. You can't buy it. There's no such, you can't buy it. You can't rent it. You know what I mean? None of that stuff. You just have to know, as a business owner, that you're going to have to continuously, keep looking for new people to come in and work inside of your business. That's just what it is. That's the nature of the business that we're in. It's never, ever going to change. And I don't even mean to say the nature of the business that we're in. That's the nature of business in general. I honestly think, like, a lot of fast food workers, they have it worse. They have it worse than what we have it, inside of this space. But that's just the nature of it. You're not going to be able to buy loyalty. Know that going in. Know that from the beginning, that you have to have a model set in place that always is bringing in new people, always at least interviewing new people. So if someone calls out, someone's not going to show up, someone just decides they quit, they're not going to say nothing, you have another body to fill in. We have a subcontractor. And my subcontractor, this lady, she is an amazing solopreneur. She's not very good at the other stuff. Okay. That's fine. This is, she's been with us for a few years. I understand that. You have to meet people where they are and deal with them like that. She's an amazing solopreneur. So how I found this out was this. She comes to work. She does an amazing job. But every now and then she goes back home to Mexico to be with her family, and she's on vacation, whatever. She's doing her thing. Well, she puts people in position she puts people basically in the driver's seat of her business, her livelihood, and they don't have the best interest for her. They don't come to work. I'm getting complaints. Hey, such and such going on. What's going on with the trash, this, that, and the third. So how I found out was, I'm calling her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of town. So, okay. So I decided, the following night, they were supposed to come back and do a clean. Well, the night comes, she doesn't show up. I dispatch another crew, one of my guys, go in there, take care of it. Hey, Rosie, when you get back into town, we got to have a conversation. This isn't working. She comes back into town. She meets with my operations manager. They have a discussion, go back and forth. She tells me basically what she said. She needed to get out of town. She just hired this person in. They went through training. Everything was fine. When she got back, the person that she hired threw all of her equipment, took the vacuum cleaner, everything, towels, mops, everything, threw it all in a puddle. Everything, all of the equipment. Now, this is Washington State. Now, I don't know if you've been to Washington, you heard about Washington. Everything is green. We got a bunch of trees. And we got all of that because it rains like all the time. It's always raining. So she threw it in the puddle, and it was like 2 or 3 days of nothing but just rain coming down on it. She threw it all in the puddle. Now she was able to get her stuff back, but her vacuum cleaner is ruined. All the other stuff that she had is all messed up. We got our keys. Also, everything on our side is cool, but on her side, everything's not good. She had to deal with that situation, how she dealt with it. But the thing is, that employee can't come back and work with us. We didn't terminate the contract with Rosie, even though we rightfully could. The way that my contracts are written up, yeah, I could have terminated it, but I chose not to. She's a really good worker, and this is a one-off situation, but it can't happen again. That type of situation can't happen again. So sometimes, having disloyal or not disloyal, I don't want to say that, but employees who aren't loyal to you, to your vision, to your business, understand that it's one thing for them to just be able to leave, but it's another thing for them to leave and potentially cost you money. That account was responsible for about $1,500 or $1,600. Almost said 15, 16,000, $1,600 a month. That hurts. Take $1,500 away from you for the month and see if you don't feel it. Most people are going to feel that, especially now, especially what's going on with everything that's happening right now. So just understand that, man. Like, if nothing else, just understand these employees, they don't owe us their loyalty. They don't owe that at all. We expect common decency. We expect open communication. But if there's ever a time that an employee decides, hey, this is it, this is my last day, I'm not going to be able to come back. Okay, thank you for letting us know. Today's Monday, guys. I'm not saying this because I feel like I just got it like that, or I'm the man or nothing. But the way that I put things together, I know that I can have a replacement here by Friday. I can have my office will be filled back to back for people who are looking for a job, back to back. And it's just the same method that I teach inside of the executive course, right? Spotlessgrowth.com. Go there, check that out. But one of the things that I did, guys, I will say this: while I was in the process of, deciding whether or not I'm going to go ahead and get that military person, or whether I was going to go back, the military guy had already gone. Am I going to go back and look for more military people? This was years later. This was this was right during the pandemic. This was when the pandemic first happened. So years after the first situation. One of the things that I did, I told you, I'm always thinking outside the box. How can I make stuff easier? They just shut everything down. Everything was shut completely down. But essential workers, if you remember, there was essential workers who can go out and take care of necessary tasks. I would say probably about 85% of my clients are all essential. We're essential. They're essential. My business really didn't stop or slow down at all. So what I was doing was, and I thought this would have worked, and I think it would have worked if they didn't make all these dang changes and pay people for whatever. But what I did was this: I started going to all of the apartments in my area. I started going to the low income apartments in my area, the low income housing places in my area. It wasn't everyone still had a job, but they were working at places like, McDonald's or cleaning companies. They had roommates or they had husbands who did other things or whatever. But these were the places where my people were. I went to the office. I said, hey guys, listen, I want to talk to the manager. They could put me in touch with the manager. Listen, my name is Marcus. I have this company. I said, listen, I know that, they shut down a lot of the businesses. Everything shut down. So these people aren't going to be able to work and aren't going to pay their rent. Let me go ahead and leave my hiring flyers inside of your office. So that way, the people who are looking for jobs, they have to be able to pay their rent. They can come and work for us. You guys get paid. They still keep a job. They can pay their bills. Everything will be good. Man, you don't know how happy those people were to be able to accept all of those flyers, right? Only for later on to be like, what do they have? The rent thing where nobody had to pay no rent. So that kicked in. I didn't see a single person out of any of that. But now, my phone stays ringing off the hook for people who are looking for jobs, they call me all the time. And I don't know how they get my number, because how we advertise, my number isn't even on any of the advertisements, but they're always calling, always looking for jobs. That's why I know that we won't have a problem. What I want for you and your business, I want for you and your business to have the same type of freedom. I want for you to be able to say, hey, we don't have to worry so much about, someone quitting or someone doing this. The worst case scenario, they quit and don't give us our keys. But in my almost 10 years of business, no one has ever kept my keys. And even if they tried to, I have a way to get them back. So, even through all of that, I want you to be able to have that, to be able to lay down at night knowing like, hey, worst case scenario, if this person leaves, I know I'll get someone else. If a client decides they want to go somewhere else, I know I'll get someone else. It's such a freedom that comes with that, where you're not having to worry, you're not having to stress, you're not having to always be, checking your emails and checking your text messages and making sure everything is okay. Guys, I promise you, I used to get like, I don't want to say it's PTSD to be disrespectful to people who really have it, but I would get really nervous whenever my phone would ring or go off at a certain time, because I knew like, wait a minute, this is the window for people to be calling in. I would get nervous. And if you're struggling with, hiring people or having people on your staff, I know that you feel the same feeling. I know that you get the same feeling that I'm talking about. Let me see. We got any comments? Anything you guys want me to go ahead and go over one time? Feel free, let me know. Go ahead and drop a comment for me. But yeah, guys, like that's really like the biggest thing, man. It's such a freedom knowing that you're in control of what's going on with your business. The other thing, Tyrone Larry, what's going on with you, Tyrone? Appreciate you. The other thing, when it comes to, I'm going to say this, my best workers, I had to use an app to talk to them, right? So my best workers, two of my best workers spoke Spanish, and I couldn't communicate with them because my Spanish isn't the best. Like I don't have the best Spanish, but I would use an app. And where there's a will, there's a way. Like I would be like, hey, you gotta, make sure you mop the floors, and I would put it into the app, and it would translate, and I would show them the phone, and then they'd laugh, and then they'd be, she'd be thinking of what to say and mess it all up, and she put it in the app, but we were still able to communicate, just by using the technology and the things that were available. 20 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to do that. The technology didn't really even exist. Back then. So, using your technology, using the things that you have now that are at your, at a hand's reach, to be able to communicate with employees that, that you can't really communicate with, or you don't speak their language, they don't speak your language, man, that stuff is invaluable. Tyrone says, what are some of the best ways to retain employees? Okay. So aside from an employee just wanting to leave, right? What we've been on. Aside from that, some of the best things that have worked for me when it comes to retaining employees, I went over a few of them before. Definitely letting them know that you appreciate them. Being able, making sure that your training and all of that stuff is on point. But in all honesty, having open and honest communication with your employees, they're people, right? Just like us. They're no different. They have certain things that they need to do on the weekend. That someone got birthday parties, they don't want to miss their kid's softball game or football game or soccer game or whatever. And be flexible, right? Be flexible with people. If you know that you have like for me, I know we have a decent amount of Friday accounts that have to get done Friday. I schedule my day. I schedule our crews, get this stuff done Friday. This stuff is due Friday. And sometimes we'll get messages. Hey, is it okay if I do it tomorrow morning? I'll make sure I get it done. It's okay. We do it tomorrow morning because I want to go do such and such. It's my anniversary. It's my sister's coming to town. We're going to go to the movies. I want to do whatever it is. I always will, if the account has been in good standing and that person has shown that they've been a good employee, yes, come in, take care of it Saturday. I'll just schedule my my inspector to make sure that they're in Saturday night or Sunday. We usually do Sundays anyway for inspectors, but you definitely want to make sure that you follow up with them. But at the end of the day, really just being flexible with your people, letting them, they have things that they have to do. They have lives that they have to live, and letting them know, like, you're not just a number. You're not just an employee. You're a person. I see you. If you have comments, or you have concerns, or if you have something you may be able to tell me that lets me be able to do that, we might have to change up our process to do things better. Be open to and let them go ahead and speak without, no, we're not gonna, nope, this is the way we do things. Now, be open, be willing to understand, be willing to listen. I've had employees come in and this is the way we did things at my other business. Oh, really? Show me what you did. Let me see. And then they'll go through the process and I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? That makes sense. I said, okay, does the way that we do it here, is that easier for you? Or is it the way that you were doing it before? Is that easier for you? Well, I like the way that you guys do it because this, and this, but it's easier for me to do it the other way because this, and this. Okay, go ahead and do things that way. And I'm going to take that information. I'm going to go around to the other crews, or my operational manager is going to go around to the other crews. Hey guys, what about if we tried to do things this way? How do you feel about doing this? Right? Be open, be honest. Let them know that their voices are heard. These are all things that I've used in my business to help us keep employees. But even with that said, in all honesty, our average employee sticks around for probably about 5 to 6 months and then they're gone. And that's just what it is. I know that. We've had employees to stay for years. We've had employees that'll go through the whole process and they don't show up a single day. But on average, it's about 4 to 6 months. That's the life cycle of an employee. But you just have to know that going in. Know going in that this person, they don't love your business the way that you do. This is your business. This is my business. They just don't love it. So you have to know that going in. I know, just like any other business inside of, you look at all of these Walmarts and Targets and all of these different places, they know it's factored into their business plan that they're going to lose a certain amount of merchandise because people are going to come in and steal. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to come in and steal, but it just means that it's smart for us to arm ourselves with the information up front, knowing that I know that these employees aren't going to be here forever. They're loyal to their own goals and to their own dreams and what's ever best for them. That's what they're loyal to. And just know that going in. Know that they're not going to stick around forever and just have a game plan. Treat them as well as you can possibly treat them. Let them know that they are valued, but at the same time, know that, there is no retirement plan that comes with being a worker in at least in my company. There's no retirement plan. I can't speak for everyone else on every other level. So you have to take that into consideration. People do start to think about that. What are they going to do? Housing, insurance, all of these things. They're going to move in the way that's best for them. If they are a really good employee, really good worker, I would find out more about their experience. What are they into? What are some of their goals? I got an offer to be a manager over at such and such place. Okay, well, let me kind of put you in a trial period to see how you would work with managing some of my employees. How would you work with doing this? That's if they meet the criteria to meet onto that, right? Every good employee, every good, ground worker, the ones who custodial techs, they're not meant to move up, right? So you just kind of got to know your staff, know who you're dealing with. But I can't stress enough to be open with them, be honest with them, and let them know that you have an open door policy and they can come in and talk to you or your operations manager, and what they're saying will be heard. That's really just some of the best advice. But just know going in, no employee is going to stick around forever, right? We all had jobs, or some of us still do have jobs. We ain't planning to stick around there forever. We got other things we want to do. They're no different. So they're no different at all. But guys, I've been on here for a good 45, 48 minutes. I said I was going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. If we don't got no more questions, man, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here one time. Let me see. Let me check. Instagram been real quiet. I ain't seen nothing on Instagram. All right. So where we at? All right. Boom. Yep. So guys, the link to, the other thing. That was the other thing. I owe everybody who signed up for it last time a little bit of an apology. I took down the $50 Friday. I took that down, a couple weeks ago. But here's the thing. I'm working on getting it back. I'm probably going to do it every Friday every last Friday of the month. I'm going to have the links to that up soon. If you are not following me on IG, make sure you go ahead and do that. Clean_solutions_ or clean_things_solutions. hit me on Facebook. Follow the inner circle. That's probably where you could catch me the quickest. You'll get the fastest response is on Facebook. But guys, I appreciate everybody. You guys have been great. I definitely appreciate you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm only a DM or email away. But guys, I'm definitely going to start getting more consistent with all of my videos. But I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.